Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another video. Let's play the intro and then we'll get right into it. Yes, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another video. And as you can see, it's the end of the season. So it means, like most seasons, at the end, at the beginning, one man comes along. Here he is. Tom, how are you?
Hi.
I genuinely, like I said before, we obviously started, and God knows if this is live or not. I don't think it is. If it is, hello. If not, then hello in the future. I'm trying to rack my brain. When was the last time that I actually saw you, spoke to you? And I think you're right. I think it was before the start of the season. So
Yeah,
it's how's it going?
we basically do the video at the start of the season, talk about football once a week when Arsenal won, and then do this, and then we take a break for the summer.
Yes,
from
exactly
each
that. Exactly that. So just to quickly wrap up before we can get into the real nitty gritty of what people want to see, I've done every single game this season in some kind of format, either by myself or with all the other great people that come on. So just to wrap it up for continuity purposes, our last game was Southampton. We beat them 2-1. It was a bit of a slog, but we got there in the end. And every game this season, Tom, I've given a man of the match for each game.
Right.
And I'm going to give my man of the match here just to finish it all off. So that was 58 games last season. And the man of the match for that game, I gave it to this man, Kieran Tierney, who's no longer an Arsenal player. But well done to him. He come on and scored a goal. It was a lovely day. So
that's sad. That's made me quite emotional now. He's doing his little face up there.
Yeah, but well done to Kieran Tierney. I thought he was brilliant in that game. So yeah, well played to him. So Tom, obviously a lot to talk about. A lot of people have already heard my musings and feelings. So it's more so what you've got to say, and then me really sort of interjecting in as I do. But going with the first question, Tom. Obviously, in our predictions video, you, like me, had Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah.
But you also had Arsenal to win the FA Cup. So
did I?
You had Arsenal to do a double this year. So going into my question here straight away off the bat, it's probably a silly question, but that's me and you all over. What were your expectations at the start of the season, and how well did Arsenal meet them?
But it might shock you, but my expectations were for us to win the league and win the FA Cup.
I did not know
that. And no, we did not meet their expectations. Next question.
Yes.
So it was poor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it was poor. Really, come second. We didn't win anything. If you believe the people on Twitter, you have to win a trophy to be in any way a decent team. So
yeah. I think it hurts more when most of the people as well that you're indirectly competing with have started to win stuff and you haven't. I mean, especially the noisy neighbour. But then you look at it and you think, well, he did finish 16th in the league or whatever it was. I'm like, really,
17th,
can you really? 17th. Was it 17th?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, I've got
so.
that.
I think so.
Yeah, but you're probably right. You probably know better than I do. But yeah, I just think really, that's a tough pill to swallow. But at the same point, I'm like, do you want to sacrifice where you really were in the league? Then again, it's trophies, and it's another team winning a major trophy before we do again.
It's not the trophy. If Europa League didn't come with the Champions League, they still would have been fuming. They wouldn't have been partying. They do an opens up bus parade for winning the Euro, a second tier European major European trophy. It's not. It's not. How's it, mate? It's not the top European trophy. How's it a major European trophy?
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that, I mean, the Champions League teams don't even drop down into it now, do they? So
That's it. It's easy. It's easier to win now.
mm.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, you finished 17th. Is that one day, a couple of weeks worth a whole season of absolute misery? And go, no, it was all worth it in the end.
Some of them would say
it's not,
yes.
is it? Because they got Champions League. Our target at the start of the season was to win a trophy and finish Champions League. We've done it. So you got Champions League sort of by default for winning the trophy.
Mm. Yeah. So going into my next question, obviously with that first sort of straight away no, which is how I would say it as well. How would you rate Arsenal's overall performance in the last season?
I don't know. I think it's difficult to rate really. I think again defensively we were very good. I think basically every part of the pitch apart from attack we were pretty good. We had a lot of, it's not an excuse, but we had a lot of injuries. How can you say it's like it's disappointing, but it's almost there's reasons why you can't really say as a whole season. Oh, it was. We didn't play as well as I expected because I expected us to be playing with our 11 best players all season. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of disappointing players, disappointed injuries. So the signings didn't really hit, did they? It was just a bit disappointing, but it definitely could have been a lot worse, I think.
Yeah, no, I somewhat agree with you. I mean, Jack, who I do the purely Arsenal with, he made a great point there with he was saying to me about finishing second and everything else, and he said it to me. He said, our starting right back from last season, Ben White, was out for 4 months. Gabriel, who's been one of our best centre backs, let alone best players this season, was out for 3 months. Tomiyasu, who the season before last season played 22 games for us, didn't play a single minute this season. And then you've had an 18-year-old playing at left back who's not played left back before, and a returning Timber post ACL, and we still had the best defence in the league, conceded 7 less goals than any side, and still finished second. But it goes into what me and you have discussed, and I know a lot of people have come at me for it. I don't know if you've had the same. I know you get a lot more on Twitter for some of your tweets compared to what I get, but I get a lot on here in the comments and everything else. I thought it's a terrible league this year, Tom. I really, really did, and not just because we didn't win it or what have you, but I mean, I look at it. It's all come out there now that obviously it was the worst viewed Premier League season in a long, long time. Not just the live games, but in terms of even match of the day, highlights, everything else. It was the lowest viewed for God knows how long. And a lot of that was people saying, there was no title race, which there really wasn't. I mean, people that saying Arsenal bottled it. How can you bottle a league that you were never top of? I'll never understand. For any of the 38 game weeks, we were never top. So God knows how we bottled something that we were never winning or leading at any point. There was no relegation fight because they were pretty much, down from before a ball was kicked, really. And everything else, was just a bit flat. I mean, the refs, I don't really want to touch on them because we touched on them a lot in the season, how dreadful they are. And I don't want to really give them any more, publicity if I can help it. But yeah, I mean, just going off that, are you, obviously you're not happy like most people are happy that we did finish second. I guess not regressing was good, but what were your overall thoughts on where we finished, considering everything that was going on within the league? Because I thought it was terrible this year, personally.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a great league this season. I think the only thing I don't know if it was an exciting like top 4 or top 5 race, or whether we were just forcing it because there was nothing else to do. I mean, it
I
never
think
used
it
to.
felt very forced.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Arsenal were finishing top 4 every season, like, top 4 trophy, and everyone's like begging for it. So obviously it's a good thing now. But I don't know. I mean, really the highlight for me of the season was the cup competitions. I thought, despite it being like United and Spurs in the Europa League, I thought that was like it's like good for the Premier League, isn't it, to have two of the teams fighting relegation? Just proves the strength of the league. The teams who
Yeah,
in 17th and 16th can be in a European final.
yeah,
And then obviously Palace winning the FA Cup. I really enjoyed that. I was really pleased for them. I mean, I don't particularly like Newcastle, but they won their first trophy. At least it weren't the same teams winning the trophies.
yeah,
I think, like you say, the strength of the league, the fact that Liverpool didn't win any other. They were on for the. Let's not forget they were on for the quadruple. People going, oh, they're going to win the quadruple. What a team! And then it's like it's like, oh, well done, you won the Premier League. It's a pretty poor season, but I don't know. I don't think we would. I genuinely, I don't think Liverpool were that good. I really didn't at any point look at Liverpool and think, oh, look at them blowing that team away. I thought it should have been. We should have been closer to them, but we just weren't consistent enough. And I think just based I think everyone's level. Liverpool's went up slightly, and everyone else has dropped massively. I think literally every team in the league's level dropped. Maybe you could say like Chelsea obviously improved, but I mean I don't know. Did they really? I think the fact that United and Spurs massively fell off helped the other teams who got top five. If they were half decent, I don't think Chelsea would have got up there. I think Spurs should have been closer. United obviously should have been closer, but like for us, yeah, I can't even think like where the points were lost really. Just see, there's just obviously we just drew so many games, we just couldn't score goals, and obviously it was just the boring narrative all season of like, oh, Arsenal need a striker, which obviously is true, but I think there's a lot more. I think it's a bit deeper than that, personally.
yeah. I mean that sort of leads into my next question, which was what did you think of Mikel Arteta's tactical approach in this last season? And for me, there, Tom, again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I was a bit angry about it at the same time when this happened. The transfer window, obviously in the summer, the players that we signed, Calafiori and Moreno, that obviously no real problem with either of them. And Moreno showed how important he was, especially towards the end of the season, in a position that he hasn't played in since he was 8 years old. But never at any point in the season did they look like, to me, they were starters in either of the positions that we signed them for.
Yeah,
So how did we really strengthen when both of those players, to me, never at any point was like, well, you're a solidified first team player, and then panicking on the deadline day to get Neto over the line because he's got the same agent that Edu had, so it was an easy deal to do. And then also getting Raheem Sterling from Chelsea because Arteta believed that he could probably remold another Chelsea player, which was impossible. There's no way you can't repurpose Sterling into anything anymore. The guy is
no, I think
he is completely shot to shit, as the kids would say. Um, but yeah, what did you think of the more so the tactical approach? Because I looked at it, and apart from, like you said, a few games in the Champions League, obviously there was a few in the league as well, like your West Ham away, your Man City at home, where we did dominate and played the football that I think we should be playing. But I found a lot of it this season very, very, I don't want to say frightened. That's not the word I want to use, but it was so risk averse. I mean, the amount of games that we dropped points in from when we were in winning positions, Tom, because it felt like we were too scared. It was like, no, calm it all down. Let's slow. It just seems so much slower and more ponderous
yeah,
than ever under Arteta. And I think, is that because, he went 2 years where he hadn't won it, so he's so scared about every single point mattering now that it's like, let's sacrifice what we're good at just to, a lot of times the word he kept using was control, and I was like, but you're sacrificing for an attack that's not the most potent attack anyway, to completely just kill it completely, killed us really.
yeah. I think I do think we have to have some perspective with our Arteta as well. Like, let's bear it. This is his first managerial job, and he's at one of the biggest clubs in the world as his first managerial job, and he's done really well. But I think he just needs to learn that essentially people have just, I think, found him out, haven't they? I mean, essentially, well,
Yeah,
this is how Mikel Arteta plays. We know what he's going to do. I don't. I think he's obviously learning on the job. I think a bit. I just don't think he. I mean, we always moaned about subs, didn't we? During the game, they'd always be too late, and it'd always be. Yeah, it was partly due to injuries as well, but it'd always be like, oh, we're going to bring on a slightly more attacking fullback rather than change. But I don't think we really have the depth. Which is what I was going to say about the signings. Really, I think if you looked at our first 11, I think how close we came to winning the league, you'd go, well, that's a good first 11. They're a young team, they're a year more experienced. I think we sort of did the right thing in buying almost like squad players, like decent squad players. I know like Calafiori was a lot of money for a squad player, but I think it sort of was intended for him to start at left back, but and sort of be cover for Gabriel. Obviously, he just couldn't stay fit all season. So otherwise, I think we've had a better end to this. I think Kirill did well, but he would have filled in at left centre back. I'm like sure of it. Um, Obviously Marino, we just bought him really for I think a bit of squad depth. The same with Sterling really. I don't think Sterling was ever signed to be a starter in that team. I think obviously we hope to get more out of him, but it was a bad sided. But it seemed more of like, oh yeah, you'll play a few games, but actually he's just rubbish. So he just didn't really ever play any games. I think we're pretty lucky with the emergence of Waneri and Miles Lewis Skelly during the season. Yeah, and it was like very obviously there's that joke at the start, so very reliant on set pieces that worked for a while, and again people found us out and knew how to stop it. And obviously Gabriel got injured, so that was basically our only tactic from set pieces was put it here. Everyone shove everyone else out of the way so Gabriel could head the ball in. And obviously when he's injured, it's like that's that then.
yeah.
We
And we
couldn't
started
defend set
conceding
pieces.
from them. Yeah,
Yeah, we couldn't defend set pieces I think that's all season really. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's just I think we're too. I didn't really see. You know how like in the past couple of seasons, like I don't know if it was because Ben White wasn't fit, but there'd always be that movement where Ben White would pass it and Saka would move inside. So Ben White would pass it infield and Saka would step across at like a right angle. I didn't see like much of that this season. I don't know if, but that could be is that the teams knowing that they're going to try that, so they've come up with a way to stop it, and then it's a bit like,
well, and both of them
oh,
were
okay,
injured
we've
for
got
so
that.
long as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're both injured. I think, but I didn't really see it at any point of the season. You'd think like, I think Timber would play right back. So he's clever enough to play that pass to Saka when Saka's there. So I'm not sure. I don't know if that's like you said. I don't know if that's just an injury thing because then two players were out for a lot, or whether it is a tactical thing from other teams. I think I know it's clear that we do need a striker, but I think our biggest issues really were like creativity. I think Odegaard really had a bit of a honking season. He was good for like before he got injured, and then for maybe 4 or 5 weeks after he got in, like when he come back from injury, and then I don't know what happened to him, but we just didn't seem to have that like the changes in midfield. We didn't have anything. Like if you want to take Odegaard off and change something in the midfield, it was always like it always seemed very defensive. There's nothing we could do. I think we just need to get a couple of players. I think obviously Zubimendi is like coming in. That would obviously help. But obviously, we had Jorginho and Partey, Rice, Marino. They're all really like more defensive. I know Rice bombs up and down, but they're not like going to unlock a defense, are they? Them four. It's basically Odegaard, and then one area had to fill in for Saka. I'm not sure if he's really like got the build, like the physical build as a young kid to play in the centre just yet. Obviously, that's where they see him. And then obviously on the left, think Martinelli came good towards the end of the season, but then he was injured for a bit of it. So yeah, it's just it just didn't, nothing helped really, did it? I think people start using excuses and stuff. I'll say it's not, the reason we didn't win the league was because we just weren't good enough throughout the whole season. But the fact that we just couldn't keep decent players fit for large parts of the season was a real struggle. Yeah, I think disappointed in it, mate.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you sum it. I think you sum it up quite very very well as per. I mean, was there any sort of specific game for you that I know you mentioned there the substitutions and anything else, but is there anything that I don't know? It's hard. I mean, we're two of the worst people at terms of I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, so trying to cast our minds back on the scene. But is there any sort of like game that you sat there this year and were really just questioning why are we doing this? What is Mikel thinking here in this? Because for me, the specific ones that I was most disappointed in were obviously the Newcastle semi-final in the Carabao.
Yeah,
I just thought you've got no response to this whatsoever. They've already they did you once in the league. Surely
yeah,
you know what they're going to come and do. You know what they're all about, and he just had no real response to that. Obviously, there was the Everton one where they still had Dyche as the manager, and it was 0-0, and it was just like, oh
yeah,
my! I'm like, how are you not? How are you not figuring out Everton? Like they're dreadful. They're
yeah,
dreadful, and he's coming. He's coming out, fought you, and out shithoused you really to get a point, and it's like, oh my god, really? And then
well,
that
yeah,
that first leg against PSG, I know Thomas Partey couldn't play in it, but the way that he just kept leaving, I was like, are you gonna try and are you gonna try and take something to there next week, or you just it just seemed like it just forever before he wanted to change anything. It didn't
yeah,
make
yeah,
sense to me. And then it was the refusal to. You saw that Declan Rice wasn't working in the six, so it's just like, right, move him up, take Moreno or whoever off, put because he was playing Trossard up front, wasn't he? It was like
mm,
take Moreno off, move Declan Rice up, and then move Lewis Skelly because Lewis Skelly was basically playing in the midfield anyway and dominating them. So I was like, right,
yeah,
move him into the six, and he wouldn't do it. And then the game that we had in the league that was right after it, I can't remember who it is. Sorry, but he done that in that game, and it was like, well, why have you moved Lewis Skelly as six and right
yeah,
in the game that doesn't matter? You've done that, but the one that was the most important, you couldn't be bothered.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a few games like with the. I literally just got the results open here. To be honest, I completely forgot about all them stupid red cards. But
Yeah,
I mean, at the start of the season, the Brighton game where Declan Rice gets sent off. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He does kick the ball away. I think it's like pretty pathetic, like the way they refed it. But then then it's like the City game, like where we got criticised because we sat back with 10 men, tried to hold on to a 2-1 lead. I mean, even like the Leicester game after that is like, well, we were 2-0 up, weren't we? And then we went back to 2-2. It's just poor. I think it just starts to get a bit frustrating. Then yeah, like you say, I mean, we just can't seem to beat Newcastle. What else have we got here? I mean, Fulham again, who draw all the time with Fulham, Everton.
that was like what you were saying. That Fulham away game, I remember I couldn't watch it live
Yeah,
because me and Dan had to do something family wise. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think we went for dinner with family or something that day, and they were all like, "Oh, are you going to watch?" And I went, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not. I'll watch it. I'll record it and then I'll watch." And when it come back, it was so similar to what you said earlier, where it was just like, "Yeah, set piece, and that will be." Because it was Saliba, wasn't it, scoring the header, and it was just like, if you couldn't take these set pieces, you'd have lost that again. That'd have been
yeah,
another
yeah,
three, that'd be another 3 points you drop.
yeah. It's just you look at it's just so many draws. Like genuinely, even like at the end of the season when it was sort of like, oh, the title's over, and it'd always been, oh, Liverpool slipped up. If we just win this, then we just draw after draw. Everton, we took 2 points from Everton. United, we drew with United.
Forest, we drew with them away, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah, lost to West Ham. I think the most disappointing thing really was like the FA Cup run for me. I think
Yeah,
shouldn't be, United had 10 men in that game. We should have just gone for it. Obviously, Odegaard missed the penalty, I think, and then obviously we lost on in the penalty shootout, and then yeah, and then obviously the semi-final, the cat of the League Cup was a bit like I don't know how to take that one really, because that was really the game where it's like we really need a strike. We just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Because I think we could have won that game like both legs like 2 times over. We just couldn't score a goal.
yeah,
Newcastle. It's not like they were defending well and they're battering us or anything. We just couldn't score. I think like I know some Arsenal fans use it as like, oh well, look at that, look at a good, we are the best team in Europe, like Arteta says, and like with the XG. But it does go to show something where it's like, so out of over the two semi-finals, we did have more goal scoring opportunities. Like we should have won the games. We shouldn't have conceded that many goals, and we should have scored 4 times the amount of goals that we did.
yeah. I mean, I it's probably not a shock to anyone that's listening to this, but I'm still a huge Martinelli fan. I know
Yeah,
if he could run without looking at his shoes, he'd be fantastic. That's the big criticism I have of him is he just doesn't look up. But yeah, I remember the home game especially. He goes through, didn't he, 1-on-1, and he hits the post. He should have
yeah,
scored, but it's just like we go 1-0 up. They're scrambling Newcastle. I know it's very much if my auntie had wheels, she'd be a bike. But it's stuff like that, isn't it? That's fine margins where Arteta keeps saying it. Oh, they've got players that are just better in both boxes, and it's like, well, again, that's when it's a transfer window and you want to hoard left backs and defensive midfielders and goalkeepers. That's that's sort of what's going to happen, Mikel. You're not signing
yeah.
anybody that makes the difference in both boxes. That's the thing.
But actually, do you know what was really frustrating? Is like the thing that really frustrated me at the end of the season was like all of a sudden, we've not got a striker. We play Marino, play Marino, play Marino. Oh, we're out of the Champions League now. Do you know what? I might play Martinelli up front. You know that Brazilian striker that we signed.
Yeah,
You know that Brazil that one. He started when he first came to us. He scored all their headers. Played brilliant up front. Was like, oh, he's a future great striker for Arsenal. That one. He plays him up front. Was it the Liverpool game when he sort of moved into instead? You go,
oh
what
yeah,
a
it was brilliant.
difference!
The
What
goal
a
he
di-
scored,
it's
the
not.
goal he scored against Liverpool was fantastic.
Yeah, but it's not. It wasn't even like he didn't even do anything particularly special. Just like look at the runs he's making behind the Liverpool defence, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden they're like, oh, crap. Like, what do we do? We've got someone running in behind us. It's just, and he's been playing as a left winger, like basically his whole Arsenal career, apart from really the first season when we're in the Europa League and he's scored a few goals in that competition. And it's like that, that's a guy who doesn't necessarily isn't used to playing up front. So what is someone who's just got a bit of pace who can just run in behind going to do? I know that that's Liverpool's not the best example because they will give you space in behind, but we just do all this dropping deep stuff, didn't we? There's not really any threat.
Yeah, spam crosses and set
Yeah,
pieces, but obviously, hopefully that will change. Well, obviously, I've done the graphics for mine, Tom.
yeah,
So I'll pull them up first, and then obviously cut back to mine and your beautiful faces for your answers, because this is the bits that people really really seem to enjoy, especially where you've over the years had a few rogue shouts, so people have quite enjoyed hearing what you've got to say. So first and foremost, Arsenal player of the season, Tom, and
yeah,
probably no shock to you. It's the same as what the official one picked. I went for Declan Rice. Now, I
yeah.
know some people that do pay attention will go, hang on a sec, James, where you've done all your man of the matches, you gave Saka man of the match more than you gave Declan Rice man of the match. So surely Saka's got to be your player of the season because you gave him most man of the matches. Um, I can't. I get that. I get that argument, but at the same point, I think overall, just obviously because Saka had that injury that wasn't, nothing to do. He can't help the fact that he got injured, but just in terms of consistency, moments. I think big moments in big games. It's got to be Declan Rice for me. So, but what about you, Tom? Have you got a different answer there, or?
I think it's difficult. I think I would have to give it to Rice as well. I think Gabriel is like for me is a very. I'm not. Did Saka get second place in R1?
He did, yeah. I think.
I feel like that's more based on the
Oh,
fact that
actually, no.
people just love him.
I think Gabriel might have got second place. Saka got third, and then I think Raya or someone was fourth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or he
very
might have got
close.
Saka might have got second, and Gabriel got third. I can't remember. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier,
I'd
terrible.
have to give it. I'd have to give it to Rice as well. So you don't have to make another graphic for that one.
Cheers. Again, probably same again here. Goal of the season for me has to be Declan Rice's second free kick versus Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that have done these review videos go, right, what was the goal of the season excluding Declan Rice from Real Madrid? Because that's a better discussion. That's a better discussion to have. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. If it weren't that one, it'd be the first one he scored against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Did he score like some screamer in the like one of the last games in the season? I can't remember what game it was, but he smashed one in, didn't he?
Oh, I know. I'm trying to remember who it is, but yeah.
He like held it in.
He scored a good goal against Man United away. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he smashed that one.
I mean, it just is though. It just is. I mean, that's probably one of the best goals I've seen in my life.
Yeah. I mean, it's Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Now I know people would try to downplay it, and I said it on here and I'll say it again. But when Real Madrid beat Man City, everyone was talking about how amazing they were, and then obviously when they got us, Arsenal got no chance here. You know, they're no European pedigree. They're rubber. I'm like, well, we were actually tanking them at home.
Yeah.
And then we tanked them away as well. But that whole game, people are trying to diminish that now because obviously, we got beat in the semi by PSG. Don't let anyone ever tell you that weren't a good night. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That's probably the most I've enjoyed football in years.
Yeah. It's just, I think it is. It was one of those things where it was like people were expecting us to get battered. You see all them idiots on TikTok and Twitter, like, the greatest hate watch of all time. This is going to be, and then we smash them over, both legs. And, they're going to the remontada. They're going to do it. There's no way Arsenal can hold us with a 3-goal lead against Real Madrid. We haven't conceded more than 2 goals for like 2 years, you idiots. Does anyone actually watch football? It's like, but it's Real Madrid. It's like, yeah, well, we're Arsenal, mate. And it's just unsuccessful hate watch. It's like, Real Madrid aren't that good anyway. They're having an off season. Typical. I thought they might be.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant. It was such a good game to watch. But moving on, Tom, most improved player of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I could only give it to one man. For me, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I mean, he started the season as a academy central midfielder, moved into left back, and he's been nominated for the PFA Player of the Year. And I think he should walk. Taking bias aside, I think he should walk that. Out of all of them that are in it, I think he's easily the best
young player of the.
Young player. Sorry, yeah. I think he should walk that award. I think you should give it to him now. There's no point, And it was amazing, isn't it, that when the players get to vote on it and the managers and what have you, it's amazing that the Arsenal players make the lists because they don't make the bloody lists for the real ones. But yet, when the people that actually play the games and see them get to vote on it, it's amazing how many Arsenal players make the cut. Because
whatever that other list was it like what's Saliba doing on there? Young player of the season.
Yeah,
he's older than me, isn't he? How old's he? Was he like 24? Isn't he? How's that a young player? Are you joking?
Well, I don't get how you can be classed as young player of the season when you've nearly had like 200 league games as well. Change these rules. Change these rules.
When I saw that the PFA ones, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I do have to disagree on you. I don't know if this might be going into the transfer chat too early, but I think Skelly is a very, very close second. But I think Morgan Rogers. I think he should win that.
Okay, but
I'm
in
a
terms
big
of
fan of Morgan.
yes, in terms of most improved player of the season for Arsenal, though, who would you say? Are you agreeing with my Lewis Skelly shout, or is there anyone else that you want to throw in there?
It's got to be. I don't certainly no other players got better.
Yeah, this is a very easy video this season. I must say.
Well, I don't know. Like, the only other one I can really think of is like really almost be like Kivior. But can you do? Because you were better than what I expected. It's not like he's improved. He just sort of had to play games because we had no one else. I was like, oh, he's actually doing really well. Oh, I'm shocked by that.
Well, can I, as classic as we used to be, can I shock you? Because unsung hero of the season, Tom. I've done it. I've gone for it. I've gone for Jakub Kivior. Now, I've been one of the first few that have praised him actually on this channel. I think he gets a lot of crap because he isn't Gabriel or Saliba. So I'm like, but you're judging him against the best two centre backs for me in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's not going to be better than the best two in the league.
No.
So you know, it'd be like me who has only a provisional being judged against like Lewis Hamilton. It's like, well, first of all, I can't even drive a car, so you know I'm already at a disadvantage. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a silly thing to judge him on. Really, I'm like, if you judge him as his own player in his own right, I think he's very good.
Yeah,
he showed it.
Yeah, I do. I did see like a lot of. I don't know if like a lot of the talk about Kivior actually came from like rival fans. Like, oh, he's rubbish. They're going to get slaughtered. But I genuinely, I've never found him to be. I wasn't worried about it. Obviously, it's a worry because you go, oh bloody hell. Like Gabriel was clearly like, he's like a level above Kivior. But for like someone who can come in and play games, like Kivior is more than adequate. Like I think really he should play more games for us. I think that's part of our problem. Is like, Gabriel doesn't need to play. He doesn't need to play in the League Cup. You could play Kivior. Again, I don't know if it was injuries again. Because Gabriel or Saliba played. It was either Saliba and someone else were playing like League Cup games, and these games it didn't mean anything, or it'd be like Gabriel and then like Kivior, or so it'd play like right centre back. But there's nothing wrong with Kivior. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah. So would you stick with him as your unsung hero as well, or are you have you got another shout for someone in there?
Rob Holding is my unsung hero. I might go different. I don't know if he's unsung, but I don't feel like he gets. I don't feel like he gets the praise. I don't feel like there's much hype around him. But I would give my unsung hero to David Raya.
Yeah,
I know, like you said, he come fourth in the player of the season, but I don't know if that's actually you get to vote for all the players, or whether it's just
for a lot of people that have done similar sort of videos. He steamrolled this this unsung hero award that these other podcasts and what have you are giving. So yeah, I think Raya is a great shout. I think my dad actually said that he gave David Raya his player of the season. My dad thinks
genuinely it was if sort of Rice hadn't had the season he had, I think like David Raya, some of the saves he made, without him I think we would have been.
Oh yeah,
I really think we would have been struggling for top 5. It was pretty close in the end anyway. Some of the saves he made, and I don't think people quite realise like how good he is at claiming like crosses.
Yeah, but you've still got a lot of these fannies in the fan base that miss Ramsdale, and it's like, I'm like, he's been relegated with another team again. This guy's just won 2 Golden Gloves on the back, but you still got people now. Ramsdale's a better keeper, though, really. I'm like, what do you watch football through Stevie Wonder's glasses? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He's just not, is he? I'm not going to go as far as say like, he's not.
The
I
minute,
mean,
the minute he
David,
signed, the minute he signed for us, I was like, well, he's fucked because Ray is so better. I was like, Ray
yeah,
at
yeah,
Brentford. I was like, he's so much better than him.
yeah. I
That's
think,
why
oh,
we wanted
yeah,
him the first time round. We only didn't get him the first time because he wasn't for sale.
yeah. I just think like I don't know what the stats are for his, but I've seen them, like the stats for his, crosses, the amount of crosses he
Yeah,
played. He's like, it'd be like the keeper in second place is like 20 or so. It'd be like whatever the number 20, David Ray's like 80. He's like so far ahead, and it really helped. Like in the when we try to hold on to a lead or a draw, as it was most of the time this season, and the ball comes into the box, you just know you're going to come and catch it. I
mm,
just think he's just so reliable.
yeah. If you go back to that game away at Anfield, before we obviously got the goals back, he kept it the score it was, didn't he? And then basically
Yeah,
started. He was inspirational in terms of getting that comeback. So I thought he was brilliant in that game. I think I actually gave him man of the match for that game, funny enough. But okay, moving on. Most disappointing player of the season, Tom, and I think here again is probably where you're going to agree with me. For me, it had to be one man and one man only, and it was the captain.
oh,
Now, I tried to find a picture of him like face palming or looking upset or what have you. The only one I could get was him basically looking like he's squatting to take a dump. So apologies for.
that is the best. That is the best position to take a dump here.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, me and you, the last couple of years have given him player of the season. I think maybe 2-3 years on the spin. So
Yeah,
to go from us giving him the player of the season to my most disappointing player, I know injuries and what have you come into it, but there were times as well, even before I heard about his ankle and all this other business that was going on with him. I was like, you don't fancy it, mate. You're past it.
yeah,
You're in positions of where a few seasons ago you were smashing that into the bottom corner and what have you. And he
yeah.
just, yeah, for me, he was just so off the pace, Tom. I don't know if you have a different answer, and if you do, go ahead and
No,
throw it in. But
no,
if not,
no.
throw. If you want to throw some stuff in on Mister Odegaard.
Oh, you know how much I love Odegaard. I backed him.
Yeah,
It's not a thing of like I've given up on him. Like definitely not. So I remember when we signed him. Well, what are we signing him for? I was like 30 million. Like, did you watch him on loan? Like, he's incredible, and he is an incredible player. Like, I don't know what it was this season. I don't know. He's tired because he's had a baby. He's gone vegan. But it was just like
the baby one I never understood. I'm like, he's fucking minted. Get a nanny.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, he doesn't have to see that baby if he doesn't want to. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
he is minted.
I don't know what it was this season, but like I said earlier, he had like a good start of the season, got injured, come back, and it was like, oh, he's back, and he was amazing. And then I don't know, he just fell off a cliff. Um, and then towards end of the season, he started picking up, and he started shooting, which was like the massive criticism all the time. So just shoot. Why are you not shooting? Stop turning. Just shoot the ball. And started doing it at the end of the season, scored a couple of goals. And it's too late now. You're disappointed. You've disappointed me all season.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, that went well actually. I'm surprised how well we aligned. I thought that you might have some absolute rogue ones that you normally do, and I'd have been scrambling, going, I don't know how I'm going to help you get out of this, Tom. You're on your own here.
Do you know what it is? Because we're a good team now. There is no
Yeah,
road one. When we were like pretty poor, it's quite easy to pick Rob Holding and argue for it.
yeah. No, you are right. But obviously going into the next bit, which people do enjoy as well, which is the squad building side of things. And I'll go here to the graphics again with the players that I would keep, Tom. If there's any
Yeah,
differences, by all means, shout them out. But I've got them here. So obviously,
yeah,
David Raya, I'm keeping.
yeah,
Big Willie, he's being kept.
yeah.
Ben White's big. Ben
I
White's
don't pay
big.
for Arsenal.
Behave. I've pissed next to you, mate. You exaggerate. Ben White, I'll keep it. Gabriel, obviously, is being kept. Timber and Kivior are being kept. Tommy Asu, I'm only keeping because I don't know who's going to buy him.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm looking at it thinking if you've got White there and you've got Timber there, they're going to be your right backs. So who's like your right centre back cover? And that's I'd put Tomiyasu as that. Calafiori, hopefully he stays fit, and I'm hoping he plays more as a centre back than a left back, because that game at home, I think it was at Newcastle where he come on at centre back with Kivior. He actually had to play the two left footers together. He was brilliant. When he had to play as a centre back instead of a left back, I was like, oh, this is where he should play all the time, because he was fantastic out there. Lewis Skelly, obviously, he's being kept. Glad he signed his new contract as well. Martin Odegaard, got to prove me wrong next season, so he's being kept. And also, like you said earlier, love him, so can't sell him. Moreno, he's obviously being kept. Declan Rice, player of the season, so he's being kept. Nwaneri, apparently he signed his new contract as well. Hopefully,
lovely stuff.
He's probably going to want more minutes. That's definitely going to be in his contract, so hopefully we see him more. Saka's obviously got to stay. I want Martinelli to stay, and obviously Kai Havertz, I want him to stay. So is there anyone that's not on that list that you would like to stay, Tom, or you would keep?
Certainly none of them I'd say get rid of.
Yeah,
I think I see people do these lists a lot, and they go sell. It's like you need a squad. You need a squad. We just need to get some decent players to back that squad up. But let's sort of agree with that. I don't know. To be honest, I can't remember all of our players, so maybe there's some that you said to sell that I might go. What are you selling it for? Go on,
yeah. Okay. Well, throwing into that, here's who I would sell. Zinchenko, goodbye. Thomas Partey, goodbye. Gabriel Jesus, if he can get fit, and there's someone in the market that wants him, goodbye. Trossard, another one, goodbye. Fabio Vieira, I saw the highlight reel of him in the Club World Cup the other day. He's still the size of a twig. And unless he somehow bulks up and gets off Cowan Gate and starts eating solid food, which I don't think he's going to. He's got to go because he's not going to make it in the Premier League. Lokonga, that's from 2 seasons ago, because there's no photo of him in last season's shirt. So he's another one. His contract's been renewed. I don't know if that's because it's like, well, he could be 6 cover. I can't see it, sadly. He's another one. He's got to go. And then Tom, me and you for years, Reece Nelson. I've never seen it with this guy. As much as I know Raheem Sterling had to come in and just be better than Nketiah and Nelson, and he couldn't do it. I still don't rate Reece Nelson enough. Sorry, I've never seen it with the guy ever.
No. I think maybe the only one out of that I probably would keep Jesus.
Okay.
I think he is good. He can sort of play anywhere along the front three, so he's good cover. And I think what you said about his injury is sort of like, if we get rid of him this summer, we're not going to get much money for him if someone is stupid enough to buy a player with an ACL injury. So we get him in the team, see if he can prove himself playing a lot, across the front three with if we get a decent striker, and then then hopefully we get a bit more. If he still's not cutting it, I think they get rid of next summer. But I'd sort of keep him for the cover. I think if you're going to get rid of Trossard, and obviously Nelson, I don't really want him to play, but Nelson, Sterling's gone back. I think we need to keep some forward players.
Yeah, I mean, out of the players that have already gone, you got Tierney there, you got Jorginho there, Tavares, and Sterling and Neto. Would you have wanted to keep any of those at all? No. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. I look at it and think, most of them were either too old, or they were never gonna, they weren't gonna make it here. As much as I like Tierney as a player, he's not an Arteta player at all. So yeah, we've seen that. Okay, well, that's good. We agree on who we can keep and sell. Well, I've done a buy list here now, Tom, and again, this is not what I think is going to happen. This is what I've done. What I want. So obviously, Kepa's there, which pretty much seems as that's an already done deal. Just
Yeah.
quickly, what do you make on that one with Kepa? Are you happy with that one?
I mean, I don't know what people are complaining about really.
Yeah.
It's a second, like for me, he's a second choice goalkeeper.
Mm.
5 million quid. He had a really good season for Bournemouth. He's not going to start for us, but I think he's like a League Cup goalkeeper, and hopefully we get like a Man City style run in the FA Cup where we're playing League Two teams all the way to the final. And he could play them games. I mean,
Yeah.
what did Neto play? 2 games or so? 1 or 2 games?
I think he played one, and he was so bad, wasn't he, that
Yeah,
we
he
never
had a
played him
howler.
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he nearly saved the ball when it was so far out the area. I was just, it was like,
yeah.
oh my, what is this guy? What is this guy?
It's like, yeah, I've got no problem with that. I don't know if people moan about the wages or whatever. It's not my money.
Yeah. No. And then I've got Hato in there as well.
Yeah.
Read today from a source that was very good with the Timber news a couple of seasons back. So I'm hoping that lightning strikes twice. He reckoned that we've offered the 6-year contract, 50 million euros, which is a lot again for another sub defender. But I feel with all them that are going, we're going to need one. So
Mm,
especially at left back, which he is. He's played more at left back than he has at centre back this season. Um,
right.
I look at him and think Miles Lewis-Skelly for me is the starter, but if something was to happen with him, I don't really want to move Kivior to left back, and I don't want to move Calafiori to left back. So I'd rather have one that's natural, and I think this guy fits the bill in there. What about you? Are you good
Yeah,
with a Hato shout or?
I certainly think like. Well, I just like the fact that if he can play left back, Skelly, that sort of frees Skelly up to maybe play a bit more. Give he can play in the midfield maybe. Give you could actually give Declan Rice a rest. If you're winning a game, 2 or 3-0 or something, you could take Rice off and stick Skelly in the midfield. You could certainly start games in the midfield. Skelly's definitely good enough to do that. And then sort of he's like solid left back. I think it's just not good cover. I do think if we were going to get, is it Hato or Hato?
Hato? Hato's what
Hato,
I've been
yeah.
told. Yeah,
But I do think if we got him, I think we'd sort of be listening to offers for Kivior. I can't see us having Kivior, Calafiori, and also Gabriel, unless Gabriel's off to
yeah.
Saudi.
Well, no, he just signed his new contract, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Yeah,
So
no.
hopefully not. But yes, and then here again. Apparently, he's in London now. 5 weeks ago, we got told by Sky he was having his medical on that Thursday, but
Yeah.
apparently he only arrived in London today. So Zubamendi, um,
He's been dragged out of Deportivo, has he?
yeah, or Sociedad, whatever,
Or,
whatever.
Sociedad, wherever it is.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
for me, if this doesn't happen now, a lot of these big time journalists are in the mud because they've said since January he's an Arsenal player. So
yeah,
he better bloody be.
yeah,
So I'm saying that he's going to be an agreed deal already. So he's already in the door, much like Kepa. But are you happy with that one, Tom? Because I'm over the moon. The Thomas Partey love. I think he's had his best season for Arsenal,
yeah,
obviously, but he's only going one way, and that's backwards. So
yeah,
again, like I've got him in my cell, and every season, and I've got it here. I mentioned it the other day on the Purely, but I'll mention it here because I know. I mean, everyone should, but not everybody that listens to me and you also listens to Purely as well. They should really be listening and following both. But I've got Thomas Partey's passes here
yeah,
um, over the last 3 seasons. So in 2022-23, these are his forward passes. Yeah.
yeah.
So he in 2022-23, he's making 8.37 forward passes a game. 23-24, he's making 6.993 forward passes a
Nine.
game. And then 24-25, he's making 5.40 final third passes into the
Oh
game,
my
forward
god,
passes in the game. Well, he's going down
what's
every
he
year.
doing?
And I'm saying now, and I will get lambasted for it, and I'll set myself up. I've done this before. I'll do it again. By the time all these gooners that love everything Mikel Arteta does, love everything about Thomas Partey, because he's got a fan club, by the time Zubimendi's in, and we're about 5 or 6 games in the season, you won't remember him. You won't remember Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
I think Zubimendi's going to be so influential to how we play and what we do next season. You're not going to miss him at all. You're not even going to. You won't. It won't be like when Gilberto left, and then all of a sudden you were like, "Fucking hell, he was really good, actually." Gilberto. It weren't until he was gone. You realise.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to clamour for Partey at all once Zubimendi's there.
No, we'll just forget he existed, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but are you happy with the Zubimendi one?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. I think I mean, even that first eight passes forward a game, Zubimendi's he's going to triple that like immediately. Like, the only thing that does worry me with Zubimendi is like
he's small.
Like, why he's like turned everyone down. It's like why all of a sudden there's like a Sociedad in some sort of trouble. They're like, look, mate, like you're the only player who's going to get us any sort of money. Moreno's there, Odegaard's there, your mates with them, mate, you'll be all right. But does he actually want to? He's all the time. He's been like, I don't want to leave Spain. All the mountains of Spain, I'll miss them. No, I can't leave Spain. Now it's like, oh yeah, actually, I turned Liverpool down last season. Yeah, I'll go Arsenal. Why not?
Well,
and he's going to go to London.
Liverpool compared to London. Not that London's an amazing city, but it's that's chalk. That's chalk and cheese.
Well, yeah,
Liverpool to London, and we've chucked the bag. We've clearly chucked the bag at the guy.
Yeah. So obviously I'm happy that I think he's a really good player, but the only thing that worries me is like is his heart in it. And obviously you would need to wait for him to play to sort of find that out, I think.
I had another good friend of mine saying to me that he absolutely adores Real Madrid. And he said to me, this is going to be like Lucas Torreira, where we're going to get 2 seasons where we go, oh, what a great little. And he went, he's going to bugger off. He's going to eventually leave. And then in 2 seasons' time, we're going to be having the same conversation. And I'm just like, well, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. If he stays for 2 years, but we win stuff, I couldn't care, Tom. I just want to win.
Yeah. Win us the league, and then you can go home.
Yeah.
That's not a threat. That's not a threat, by the way.
No. That's thrown me off now. But yeah, and then winger-wise, Tom, I've gone for Kudus because I think we're going to sign someone that can play both sides.
Yeah.
And 54% of Mikel Arteta's signings have been signings from within the Premier League. Oh. So far, and as you can see, the next one, who I'll talk about in a minute, but all of them so far are from without the league. Sorry, from not within the league, apart from obviously Kepa. So that's why I think, Kudus, apparently now, 50 million quid is all they want for him. That ex-West Ham employee, I obviously I don't pay for his Patreon. Why would I pay to subscribe to a West Ham podcast? Come on now, don't be silly. But he said, he's 50 million quid, and he went, Arsenal are obviously the front runners for him, and you got to remember we could have already had Kudus, but we were too scared about the PSR with the Havertz, Rice, and obviously the Raya thing 2 seasons ago. Kudus thought he was coming to Arsenal before he went to West Ham. Obviously, you mentioned Rodgers. There's other wingers that are out there, Tom. Is Rodgers the one that you want, or would you take Kudus as a possibility? Or
I think for me it would be, I do that. Always feels like the dream would be like Rodrigo. That'd be the one that I'd aim for, but I don't think that's really doable.
Do you think Rodrigo's an Arteta player? Because that to me feels like Berta's doing that, which I don't mind. I don't mind him coming in going, look, I'm going to sprinkle some of my dust and going off the game against the 2 games that they played against us, and going off some of the other stuff that I've seen. He's a fantastic. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player, but Arteta's wingers sometimes are playing as wing backs. Martinelli, as much as you can knock him for what he's doing that way, he works his arse off every single game.
Yeah.
He's winning duels, he's winning the ball. Rodrigo ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
You've been at the games. Martinelli's the player he yells at the most.
Yeah.
If he's on the touchline and he's going, oh, Rodrigo's going to turn around and go to him. Shut up. He's going to be like, don't, shut up. Let me play. Like, stop
Yeah,
telling me.
yeah,
I can't see it as much as I can't see him going for Rodrigo because he ain't a grafter. He ain't going to work. To
yeah,
me, I'm like, that's a complete departure from what we've seen the whole time that he's been the manager of Arsenal. Now, I don't mind that. I'm not one of these people that fear change like others, but I can't see Rodrigo at Arsenal at all. And I saw other people saying about Rafael Leao. I'm like, well, he's even worse.
oh yeah,
I'm like, you lot handed out Pepe, and you think Rafael Leao's going to come in?
yeah. I don't get. I really don't get the Leao hype. I think
No,
he's pretty poor. That like,
he's awful.
yeah, I'm not. I'm certainly not on that hype train. I've
Yeah,
never seen anything from him. Like I said, like I think for the money, Rodrigo would be a risk. I think what we really do lack is a player who can just beat someone. And none of even really Saka. I don't think Saka is like the best at beating a player. Saka's obviously amazing at cutting in on his left foot and he's really quick 1-2s. But we do not have a player who can beat a man. And obviously Kudus, I think his take on stats are
well, he's the
like
top of all. He's the top of all of them, like
yeah,
you said about.
I think
He's
they're
so
through the
clear,
roof.
and West Ham were
Yeah,
awful last season. He's still well clear.
yeah. That's why sort of for me, I think Kudus, he must be available. He's definitely
Yeah,
available. I don't think he particularly wants to be at West Ham.
no.
So I like the Kudus shout. I like
Well,
for
I
me,
look at him and go, if he's available for 50 minutes, if he's cheaper than what Mbuemo is, that's a steal.
yeah,
And I love Mbuemo. I'd take Mbuemo. I love
yeah,
Mbuemo. But I'm trying to be more realistic, and I think Kudus is a great shout. I really do.
yeah. I think above Kudus, like for me, would be Morgan Rogers.
Yes,
Like
yeah, I
honestly,
like
I
the
didn't
Rogers shout
realise
as
he was
well.
that young. I really didn't realise he was that young,
Mm.
and I think he can sort of play the attacking midfield role as well, can't he? He could play in the middle. He could play off the left. I think he could play. Was he? I think he's left foot. I've seen him play on the left quite a bit. I've seen him play on the
Yeah.
right. I've seen him play through the middle.
Hmm.
He's really young. I think he seems like
He
he's got like the decent work. I mean, he's playing under Emery, so he's got the work ethic.
Yeah, he's one to look at because by the 30th of June, that's when you've got to do all your PSR and everything stuff. And Aston Villa are really, really, they're going to have to sell somebody because they're really,
Yeah,
really bad. They're bad in it. They're like
yeah,
really at the deep end. So he's one to look at because I know, I mean, it probably the way these PSR clubs all help each other. He's probably going to Newcastle, Chelsea, knowing
yeah,
the way that
yeah,
they all bail each other out. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd love Rodgers at Arsenal. I would really
yeah,
like him at Arsenal. One that I'll throw out there as well, and again, I can't see it happening, but David Ornstein always keeps mentioning his name, and for me, if Ornstein says it, there's somewhat a little. For me, I'm like, if Ornstein or Mockbell or whatever are talking, and there's some truth in it. What do you think of Anthony Gordon? Because his name won't go away. Do you? Do, what do you think of Gordon? Would you take Gordon? Because I know before when he was at Everton, me and you were like,
mm,
I don't see it with this guy. But since he's been at Newcastle, I think he's really turned it. I think he's a really, really good player, but also he's nasty, and I like
yeah,
that as well. I'm like, I think we need more. You know, best way I can say it is, I think we need more bastards in the team. Tom, I
yeah,
think, I
yeah,
think, I think since Xhaka's gone, we haven't really, other than Ben
yeah,
White, we haven't really got many bastards, and I think
yeah, yeah,
Gordon, I think Gordon would suit us.
yeah. I don't, for me, I don't really think he suits how he play. I think
Okay,
he looked really good at Newcastle because they are very
yeah,
much like sit back and hoof it over the top and let Gordon use his pace and just hassle people and knock it past people and run. I don't think I've really seen him in like a. Don't really often see him in these situations where he sort of like we do, we pass it out wide, they pass it back, gets it again, pass it back. I've never really seen him in that situation. Obviously at Everton, he's not doing that. He's running in behind and stuff. I, don't- I, I don't know. I've just all I've seen of him really is you know he can beat a player that is with his pace, and I don't. We need someone who can beat a player from a standing start. We need someone who's going to go. I'll go this one. No, I'm going out wide. See you later. We need someone who's actually going to beat someone from a standing start, not in a race.
okay. And then for me, and again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm doing this for people that I want, not necessarily who I think we'll get, because I think we'll probably get the other striker. But I've gone for Gyökeres, Tom. You know me. I've wanted him for about 2-3 seasons now, Tom. I love him. I love him. And I think for us, I think Arsenal's problem, like you said, the build-up isn't, it could do with improving. But you got Declan Rice there, who was in the top 10 for final third balls into the box. And I think he was in the top crosses. You had Saka that was in that top 10 for crosses and for... We just need somebody who, when that comes over, instead of like Kai Havertz, who, again, I know I don't want to do a lot of Kai Havertz slander, because I'm not into that very much. I know you're he's your man, Kai Havertz. I don't really want to. I can't dig out Kai Havertz with you here. But instead of him taking 4 chances to score, if we've got 1 and 1 chance only, I think Gyökeres for me, he's a natural. As much as I think we need a striker, I think we need a finisher, and that guy will finish. If Moreno, who's not a striker, got 12 goals or whatever it was, if you don't think Gyökeres can get more than 12, I think you're on the Mickeys, mate. I think you're on pills, you're on sniff, like you're not the full ticket. So what say you? Because I think we're probably going to sign Sesko, because that's more of the player that Arteta wants, and he'll do more of the. Again, Gyökeres, he ain't the grafter that Arteta probably wants. Arteta wants somebody that's exactly the same as Kai Havertz, but is clinical. And I don't think Gyökeres gives you that. I think Gyökeres might give you clinical, but he ain't going to give you, he's not as good in the air as Havertz or Sesko, in my opinion, Gyökeres.
No.
But what say you on the strikers, Tom?
Well and truly, being honest, I'm not massively impressed with either of them. Like I'm sort of at the point where I'm like for me, Gyökeres, I think it's maybe the same as the Gordon stuff. I'm not sure if he. All I've seen of his goals at Sporting is he gets the ball in the halfway line and he just pelts it towards the goal, and he's like right up there in seconds, and I've finished it. I've not seen any clips of him like scruffy finish into the bottom corner. It's like come off his arse and it's gone in. That's what I want. I just want somebody who's gonna get a goal off his arse and celebrate like he's won the league. And with Sesko, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just not sure about him. Like I said, he looks he looks quality. There's just something about him that is like, I don't know. I'm just a bit off. Like he could strike a ball, which would be nice to have someone like that. Obviously, he's massive, not very athletic. I think out of the two, I probably would go for Sesko over Gyökeres, because I think, like you say, I think it's more likely we'd go for him because he is more. I love Havertz. I think he is sort of
again as well. We've chased him for 2 seasons. I'm like, it just Do you know what I mean? It feels like Arteta would, as much as people are saying, oh, him and Berta are having these arguments and they're disagreeing and yada yada yada. I'm like, I think Arteta would win that one.
Yeah. Get both. Sod it. Just get both of them. Why not?
To be fair, for me, we need 2 strikers. I think we need 2, but that's me. I'm greedy anyway. You know this.
Get both and sell Jesus. Yeah, I'll do that. Like, I mean, obviously there's stuff come out about Gyökeres, about the, with Sporting. Like, oh no, we did say that, but actually you're worth more than that, and you're being a bit of an arsehole. I don't know. There's obviously something. You think a player who's got that goal scoring record, like everyone would be in for him, and there seems to be something that's like personally, from what I've seen and maybe what I think is like, I think he's asking for like big wages, and I think his agent's not helping him. I think maybe his agent he wants a bit of money, and
because from what I saw, Juventus, Man United, there was another club in Spain. I can't remember which one, but he was just like, no, I want to go to Art. For me, he wants to play for Arsenal. Everything I'm seeing and reading is he actually wants to play for Arsenal. And for 2 seasons, I've not seen that out of Sesko.
Yeah.
And Sesko to me feels like oh, I'll just go to whoever's going to pay me my fee and my wages.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I want to sign the player that wants to play for us. That's what.
Oh,
As
actually,
much
do
as
you,
I
do you
like
know what as
Gyökeres,
well? Do you know what? What I saw today is apparently Sesko. He's saying he wants a release clause in the contract as well,
yes, I saw that.
which
So
is
I don't like that either. I didn't like
yeah,
that either.
which is
Yeah,
alarm bells. So I think like I don't know, if Gyökeres, he feels like less of a risk. He feels like lesser a risk because if he comes to Arsenal, he doesn't hit it. Everyone will go, well, yeah, he's only played in Portugal. Yeah, we knew he weren't going to be that good. But with Sesko, it's like you're going to have to pay 80 million plus, and then it's like if he doesn't do well, he's got the resale value, but he's certainly not going to get your money back. And then I mean, you shouldn't really look at players, I don't think, based on their resale value. I think people are so obsessed with this. Oh, Gyökeres is 27 or 28 or whatever it is. Watkins is going to be 30. I mean, really, like, could we not get Gyökeres and Watkins or something like that? Like, why has it just got to be one?
see, that
Gyökeres
was
and Vista. Go get a.
yeah, that was
I
going to
think
be my next.
Vista would be like over the moon with coming to Arsenal. I think.
See, that was going to be my next question. Is there any other forwards that you could think of that you? I mean, I think now if Arsenal go out and get Ollie Watkins and just only Ollie Watkins, that's underwhelming. I think you need to buy one of Gyökeres or Sesko. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
just look fucking stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially if, and I mean, it's still a big rumor, and I can't see it, especially if they're looking at selling Gordon as well. If Isak goes to Liverpool,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would literally be going like that is annoying. That would annoy me. I would be like, it's
I don't know.
what a coup. But at the same time, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, that's
Honestly,
some strike force.
no. Let him go Liverpool. Let him go Liverpool. Honestly, this is my hot take of the episode. I think Isak is the most overrated player in the Premier League.
Oh my god. Oh my god! I knew you'd throw something out. I knew you'd throw something out.
He actually is.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry,
god!
but he is.
Oh my god!
He
Okay.
is the definition of purple patch. I'm sorry. He scored loads of goals this season. Yeah, he don't score for 6 weeks and he score a hat trick. That's not what we need. We need someone who's going to again score off his arse. Oh, he's got a last minute winner off his arse. Oh, he kicked it into his left foot and it's gone in somehow. For me, he screams purple patch. I'm not saying when I say he's overrated, I'm not saying he's crap. He's clearly like top 5 strikers in the world. But like when you're talking about the money that they want for him, I'm sorry, but go and pay 150 mil for him, Liverpool.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he'll get injured. He'll play. He won't play. He won't play the whole season.
Is there another name that, again, and this is for any position, Tom? Is there anyone that I've not mentioned that you would like or think that we should be going after? I mean, just before we come on air, I did a little bit of reading, and again, they're crap sources, which, like Twitter's full of crap sources. They said that Arsenal, where obviously Thomas Partey's going, we want 2 midfielders now. And they've said that it's going to come out either over the weekend or on Monday that we've bid 50 million euros for Camavinga, and they've declined it, but we're looking at rebidding again. If we get Zubamendi and Camavinga in one window, I will lose my head. I don't think I'll make the season, Tom. I think I'll explode.
Yeah. Well, what was it like? I don't know. Was it the last time we did one of these? I was like, Camavinga, just go get him.
Yeah.
Go get Camavinga.
I've
seen
see
things
it.
about like other teams looking at him as well. So I've not seen anything about Arsenal, but I did see like maybe United and maybe it's even like Spurs or someone like really rogue. It's like Spurs. I'm like, he can't go to Spurs. And I was like, if he's available, Mikel, he could play left back, mate. You love a left back.
You love midfielders. You love midfielders and left backs. He could do both.
Yeah. So I think personally, I think obviously to me it doesn't really matter what striker we get. I think that you know, there's not much difference between them for me. But I think if we get Gyökeres, I don't, well, really, I think whatever one we get, go and get another striker. Get two
Yeah.
strikers. Go and get.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Like honestly, Visser from Brentford. Go and get someone like that. Because what is he like? I think Visser's like 29, 28, 29, something like that.
I think he's even younger than that. I don't know.
Is he? I think obviously you got Watkins. Watkins, he's 30, I think.
He's not finished. He's 28.
Who's that, Visser?
Yeah, he's 28. Great age. We love that age.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just get the feel like a player like that. He comes from Brentford. They don't pay big money. We'll double his wages. They'll go, look, you're not going to start every week, but you're going to be like, you're going to be coming on. You're going to be an important player for us. You're going to play in the Champions League. You're 28. It'd be like really you're looking at like the last good contract for him. And I think obviously he had a really good season last season.
Yeah.
I think he seems a bit clumsy, but like I say, I'm not buying him to start every game. Watkins, I think it seems like he sort of maybe could be available for, but then I don't know how you go to Villa and get Watkins and Rodgers.
Yeah.
You're paying 100 million, maybe 120 million to take them out of Villa, which they need, but obviously Watkins would be happy to come and play for Arsenal as well as an Arsenal fan. So I'd like two strikers.
Cool. And other than that, you got any other positions or any other names? I mean, I know before we've shown the power of the Arsenal fan stupidity. All those years ago, you said that there's two players coming in. You started a little rumor on here that did stretch. That you had our small fan base at the time on strings with these two mystery players. I remember I had people messaging me afterwards going, "Who are these two players?" Then, and I went, "I can't." Said, "I promised Tom I wouldn't say." There was no two players, by the way. That's who the two players were.
There was.
But no,
they were very close. They were very close.
Yeah, failed the medical.
Yeah.
But no, is there anyone, maybe not even in the forward positions or anywhere else that you? Obviously, there's probably, you could sit there and be like, "Oh, I'd buy Haaland or Mbappe, James." But is there any like realistic?
He's rubbish.
Is there any like realistic sort of player that I haven't mentioned or you haven't seen that you'd think, yeah, I'd like him? I mean,
I feel like what we've mentioned is doable and realistic. I don't think there's any players that we've mentioned there that is like, oh, why would he go to Arsenal? I think our back four's decent. Reinforce the midfield to Mendy and maybe someone else. Maybe someone else I've heard from my sources, my good sources. There might be something. There might be something brewing in the back rooms of Arsenal there. I've heard about
you do live opposite Nando's, so your sources are probably better than
they're hot.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. But no,
a big powerful midfielder might be coming in. You never know.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. Well, Tom, as always, thank you very much for coming on. Is there anything else you want to add, just in general about the season or Arsenal again, or anything you want to send any messages out to our glowing fan base and what have you? Or are you in a sweat box like me and just want to wrap it up?
Half of the fan base grow up. The other half of the fan base keep cracking on. You're brilliant. And,
thanks.
Mate, you can decide what half you're in yourselves.
Well, Tom, as always, thank you very much. And thanks everybody for listening and watching. And I think this actually did go live, Tom, because I've checked the comments and Terence Tibbs here has called me Hagrid. So which isn't a new one. That's quite common. It's better than the days of someone saying, what was it? We look like pulped apples in a bag of shit or something.
Yeah, I missed that guy. Yeah, why did we have a hater? That was incredible.
I think because we weren't really, getting upset by being trolled. We were finding the troll funny. He got bored with it.
Well, he was the only one that would comment. It was like the only
Yeah.
comments we'd get every week. So we were like, oh, here we go, someone to interact with. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. It was a bag of pulped apples covered in shit or something, wasn't it?
So, yeah.
I think it was more. That was definitely more aimed at you. I think.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I was in a bright. I was in a bright green shirt that looked like an apple. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. We did wonder whether he was the. I remember there's a Korean guy, and whether it was maybe him on another account because we gave bad betting advice.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we did. Yes, we did at the time. Yeah. Yeah. It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody. It could have been West Brom Debs, family getting revenge on us, putting her on air. I don't know. Could have been anybody. Could have been anybody.
It was a bloke on BBC Essex Radio.
Yeah.
Could have been him.
Yeah. Gary Monk, whatever his name. No. Gary Monk was the football man. Dave Monk, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, we've got a lot of enemies for some reason. We've even got people who hate us, or we've just got really hardcore fans like Bluebird Legend.
Yeah.
Bluebird Legend's a big fan, and then we've got people who absolutely despise us.
Yeah. Well,
this is fair enough. I can see why.
Again, yes. Yeah, but thank you as always. We've done nearly an hour and a half here, so I will wrap this up because it is bloody hot in this room. I don't know about where you are. It's probably even hotter in your room.
I've got one of these.
But yeah,
I've got one of these. This isn't a plug. Shark fan. Look at that. Look.
Yeah. Do you want to ask if Shark want to sponsor you?
If you click the link below, 50% off.
It's not. I do not know anyone at Sharp. but no. As always, Tom. On that note, I am your biggest fan. So thank you as always. And we'll all see you soon. Take it easy, everybody, and goodbye.
Do you want to play us a jingle out on the piano?
I've got an outro, but if you want to play something quick, by all means.
Let's do this.
Have we got clearance of copyright?
There you go.
Thank you. Cheers.